Hello, and welcome to the Pillar to Post Sewer Lateral Inspection. This is for address 4432 Cornish Way, Denver, Colorado 80239. Today I am accessing multiple cleanouts in the front yard, just off the walkway, and we are beginning the inspection looking into the city main. Now, the purpose of me beginning the inspection looking into the city main is, first thing I like to evaluate on film, what is referred to as your tap. Now, your tap is a connection from your 4-inch sewer line leaving the home, connecting us to this big 8-inch main line we're looking at here. It is important to evaluate the tap because even though we're in the city street, the tap and sewer line leading up to it are still the homeowner's responsibility. Now, with this said, tap is just the last 4 inches of the service line here, connecting us to that city main, and your tap does appear functional. We're going to begin by pulling back through SDR 35, high quality material for main sewer lines outside the home with mini grade features. I do want to point this out. We do have a standing body of water hindering functionality in the sewer line, and before the standing body of water we're going to see this solid discoloration on the pipe, but much higher on the pipe. Where we're seeing it now is approximately 20% of the pipe, 25% of the pipe. That is what is referred to as your high water mark. Now, your high water mark is the indicator at maximum volume where your sewer water will flow. You typically want to see that high water mark somewhere around 40 or 50% in line, as that is a really good indication that water is flowing properly. Unfortunately, after the leveling or standing body of water, we have a much lower high water mark, which usually indicates that there are restrictions in functionality. Now, SDR 35 is what is known in the sewer industry as a low impact pipe. This means it is a thin wall plastic or polymer that is pliable, but also very durable. Now, this pliability is a necessity. It was created due to the possibility of expansive soils. This means instead of breaking and separating like older material, they wanted a material that could flex with the ground if needed. Now, along with this flexibility, they were also able to create longer lengths of sewer line, so it can generally be somewhere between 10 and 14 feet between connections. And with a much more secure connection process than older materials, they have also virtually eliminated the concern of root systems, such as bush or tree roots, intruding or entering your polymer or plastic line here. So this means we're less likely to break and separate, we're less likely to have root systems intruding. This means major concern number 1 would be the possibility of leveling, but major concern number 2 would most commonly be fog. Fog in the sewers? Okay, now we're learning. Fog is a sewer term. It stands for fats, oils, and grease. Most commonly builds up from the kitchen sink before anywhere else, but generally means that routine cleanings are advised every 8 to 12 years. Now, this 8 to 12 year mark between cleanings does depend on a few different factors, but mostly volume of use. So if someone's home throughout the day and water's constantly being ran, I'd suggest those cleanings every 8 years. And if it's more night and weekend use, people go to work and school and such, I'd suggest those cleanings every 12 years. This will depend on you, the homeowner, for I'll not be back to check on you. Now, in terms of a functional sewer line, typically you want to see a grading somewhere between a 1.2 and 5.6% grade. This is roughly an 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch drop per foot. This is due to the fact that sewer lines are gravity-fed systems. This means there's no pump, there's no motor, there's no force to move water and material through your sewer line except for gravity. So when we've lost that gravity or force, what it will create is standing bodies of water. This is a low section in the sewer line where grading was not maintained. This could be due to expansive soils. This could be an ongoing thing. This could be shifting as we speak. I can't verify. I can verify that the low section present is a hindrance to functionality, and we will explain as we travel through it here in the next few feet. But obvious indicators would be the staining on the pipe, and then the standing water that we're seeing present in the line. Now, I did kick some of the water out of the line just so I could fully measure the fog collecting on the side walls. We will discuss as we approach, but here we go. We are getting there now. So right here we're going to enter the standing water, 37 feet 9 inches, so basically 38 feet here. And immediately we see the fats, oils, and grease collecting on the side walls. This indicates that a faux shelf or shelf of grease is being collected just above where the water is pooling in the line. And then we're looking at the top of the sewer line and seeing all the fog or staining up there. This usually indicates that backups have begun to occur. And then we're going to slightly go underwater here for a moment. So my main concern for these sort of standing bodies of water is not necessarily the height of the standing water, it's more so the length. That is the major velocity reducer here. Even with minor grading defects in longer lengths of pipe, this will greatly reduce velocity, flow, and volume. As we can see here, the staining is present at the top of the pipe there. And then it's ending right about here. So we have almost 8 feet of leveled pipe here that is hindering functionality. Not only do we see the staining here, but as we pull back, we're going to see more staining at the top of the pipe. Once again, this is just a strong indication that materials have gathered in line and caused backups already. And the potential for full backup is always present when minor backups have already begun. This is why we're suggesting corrective measures. Now, on to professional cleaners. It's very important to do a little due diligence before hiring any old cleaning company. First things first, you want to avoid the multi-facet companies as much as possible. These are your clean/repairs/inspect companies, the big box truck companies. My concern with them is they tend to love to upsell. What this means is they'll come to clean your sewer line and try and sell you a kitchen sink along the way. So to avoid that hassle, I generally recommend hiring a professional cleaner only. Now, when seeking out these professional cleaners only, I strongly advise asking at least 3 questions, which would be, are you insured? Are you certified? And you bring a sewer camera with you. Now, reasoning for this is sewer cleaners that bring a sewer camera can run the sewer camera before they clean. This way they're able to take note as to where the major buildup is in the sewer line. But most importantly, after they're done cleaning, they can run the camera a second time, show proof or verification that they've done their job properly. Once again, the cleaner that's certified means they've been properly trained. And if they're insured and properly trained, this means they're less likely to cause damage. But even if they do, insurance would cover it. Once again, just wanted to reiterate that. It's important to ask a few questions to hire the right cleaning professional only. So I was wiping off my equipment here. I do apologize. So what we have here are dual sweep outside access points, which are a huge bonus to a home. Since maintenance is always suggested, having these outside access points is a polite way to ask your cleaner to keep your stinky equipment out of my house, do everything you need to from the outside. So here's the front porch here, just kind of showing that. A little sun glare, all right. A nice view over here. Now either way, I was just in access point number 1 closest to the home, and that would force us towards the city street. Access point number 2 over here is going to force us in towards the home this way, all right. So they are created to cross paths. If this one ran towards the street and this one ran towards the home, we'd never clean or inspect between here, and that's not okay. In fact, cleaners will typically start from the outside and bring all the debris and material from inside the home to about this point here, so that way when they enter this pipe, they can finish forcing it down to the city main. So it is much easier for you and the future cleaner to have these outside access points. Okay, now let's head in towards the home. We see a slightly over-compressed connection in this vertical clean out here. Fantastic. Let's go to the next one right here. This is part of the rubber boot or gasket securing it in place. Currently not hindering functionality. I don't see any root systems intruding or entering. Just something to keep your eyes out in the future for. Alrighty. And there we can see the other portion of the dual sweep there. I did zero out my equipment before entering the main line here. And we are entering the main line almost 10 feet deep. Okay. But now we're heading towards the home. And once again, that staining or high water mark is going to get a little bit higher before that standing water. So now we're seeing it approximately the 50% mark, and that usually indicates good flow or pitch to the line. And let's transition right here at the foundation wall to the black plastic ABS used throughout the home. Now, a black plastic ABS is actually a high impact pipe, very firm, very rigid in place material. Typically, once installed properly, much less likely to bend, sag, shift, or sway on its own. And this is due to the rigidity or firmness of the pipe. It's definitely one of my favorite materials for sewer lines here. All right, and now we're going to reduce into the 3-inch pipe. Fantastic. This is main line inside the home, mostly toilet use here. Now, I do want to state that both black and green plastic are very durable in regards to temperature tolerance. Both materials can handle -20 and beyond 221 degrees Fahrenheit without freezing and breaking or melting and warping. Both materials are also highly abrasion resistant, so this means we're less likely to scratch, score, cut, or damage. And I can't go too far vertical, so we're going to start to pull back through the line here now. Now, this abrasion resistancy is good to know in case foreign objects like jewelry or a steak knife were to fall in your drain line. You just see some of the over-poured glue right there. Not a big concern. ABS glue securing it in place. But yeah, if you were to have foreign objects drop down your drain line, rather than damage the pipe, they can be professionally removed by a professional cleaner and are less likely to cause damage in terms of scratch, score, or cuts. And both materials, highly chemical tolerant. We are much less likely to erode or decay than others. But even though that's said, I still only recommend common household chemicals be ran through any drain line. This just means I try to avoid the products that state things such as industrial strength or ultra degreaser. Also, products such as Liquid Plumber or Drano, which are actually bogus products. Liquid Plumber and Drano, really good at dissolving hair, really bad about leaving behind a lot of chemical grease. So if you do notice a backup or blockage in your smaller drain line, I just want to refer you to the maintenance portion of the report. On there, I do list a plethora of very simple do's and don'ts that any homeowner can utilize, and these will just help you maintain your drain line in the futures. Generally speaking, proper use of laundry, the shower, the dishwasher does make for great longevity in the lines here. So I'm going to clean up the area here, close up your sewer access points. Put this away. And yeah, once again, just to reiterate, we do have a standing body of water in the sewer line that is impeding functionality or hindering flow. So we are suggesting corrective measures being made in that standing body of water to help correct the pitch or slope. Other than that, it is a completely plastic sewer system with no indications or immediate need for a cleaning. So you are another 8 to 12 years out before the first cleaning should occur, and that is suggested cleaning. But please do read the maintenance report. Maintenance portion of the report. Once again, very simple do's and don'ts, tips and tricks that any homeowner can apply. You don't necessarily need to be a plumber to follow. That can help you maintain these drain lines in the future. With that said, I'll end the video now. Thank you very much. Concludes our inspection for today.